coming to you in high definition. This is the Fox 9 Morning News.
Well, this morning in My Fox Money, we are talking about the current recession. Our next guest knows a thing or two about dealing with money during good times and bad times, as we are in right now. Tom Powell is a CEO at ELP Capital and also the Chief Investment Officer for ELP Capital Advisors. And he is also the author of Standing in the Rain, a guidebook to understanding, surviving, and thriving in the worst financial storm since the Great Depression. And just hearing that, we hear that over and over, but it still sort of hits your gut a little bit when you hear that that's where we're at. Do you think that people are hesitant to really understand, or they, when it comes to discussing things like the recession and money and linking it to the Depression, does this just make people really uptight?
You know, Alex, for the most part, what I find is people shy away from economics and money in particular. It wasn't taught a lot in school. What we learn about money is mostly taught from our parents, which most of the time parents didn't talk about it. So they put it in a closet. We call it shining the light underneath the bed. People don't want to know, but they really do want to know, and they know in their hearts they need to know. So shining the light underneath there. The word recession has been thrown around a lot. Depression has definitely started to creep in.
Yeah.
And
that has a strong, feeling. We've heard that from our grandparents, and we know the effects of the Great Depression.
Absolutely. And so we're starting to use a word now that we say it's a reset. It's a much better understanding. If someone has a disease that's not terminal but pretty critical, they take a reset of their life in most cases. And they say, okay, this is where I am, this is what I need to work with. And that's where we are in the economy, both in the U.S. and many parts of the world. We've reset. Prices have reset. And the sooner we realize that and say, this is where it is, this is what we can move forward with, the faster we'll get back to a confidence. And capital needs confidence to move forward.
And understanding, where the dominoes fell to get us to this current state. What happened? When did things start tumbling down?
Early days, 1999, in many ways, because we had some large capital market events that happened, and the government stepped in and saved them, and it became the too big to fail scenario. And so parts of Wall Street could start taking more risk and have that step in. And when there's no risk and you can get all the rewards, it causes people to take more and more risk. So that's a really macro piece. A smaller piece is in the late middle 2000s, housing prices were starting to slow down and rates were starting to move back up, and they came up with some hybrid mortgages that allowed people to start saying, oh, I can buy more houses. Big flush.
That was a big problem right there.
Big, because it became speculation. And speculation is what caused the 29 crash. You had people that could borrow with nothing down. They had very little risk, essentially, because it wasn't their money in the game. And so you had to run up in stock prices and then a crash. Well, it's the same thing that happened in housing.
Well, why do you think the government took so long in kind of recognizing that we are, in fact, in a recession, or as you're saying now, we're calling it a reset?
It's not that it took so long. It was how big was this going to be, and how do we stop just like in a panic, it's very hard to stop a panic once it starts. When people are in a euphoric standard, they're saying, yes, that's okay, I know it's happening elsewhere, but it's not happening to me. It's not going to happen here in this market. Everything's fun. They say, big key word is, fundamentals have changed. Fundamentals don't change. You know, they're the same as they always have been. And greed's the big one. Greed is wanting not the chasing of money with an exchange of goods or services. It's wanting something for nothing. And that's where it was. Well, I'm just going to do this last one, and then I'll get out. Okay.
Now, I guess the big question is, what would you say to people as far as how to survive the recession? What should people be doing now? Now that we're fully aware of what's happening in the economy, we see it in the number of businesses that are closed in our neighborhoods, the people that have lost jobs, who have received salary cuts. What can we do right now, since we're really in the thick of it?
It's a great question. I think the first thing is to truly evaluate where you are as an individual. So you've got to find the truth, and we need leadership to be able to do that, both at a home front and as on a national level. Where are we? Then you take that and say, where do I want to go? So if it's, I need to make my basic ends meet, how do I do that? Maybe I have to give up on certain things in my budget. On the other side, if life is really pretty good for you at this point, what can you do to augment that? And right now there are opportunities. People need whatever it is. Mostly they need comfort. And so can you bring that to the marketplace? What can you do to help people understand something? Can you help someone out? And as we give, we tend to receive.
Okay. I like leaving it on that note, for sure. Giving. Okay. Well, Tom, thank you so much. And you obviously know a lot about the economy. And if you'd like to read the book, it is called Standing in the Rain. Log on to standingtherain.com. You can learn more about the book and learn more about our current recession and how to survive it.